welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. For those of you that are new around here, my name is Hannah and I'm an author from the southeast of England. My first novel, number 47, came out last July and is a thriller, so if that's something you're into, I would love for you to check it out. So this week's video is a book review. I've not done a book review on YouTube before. I've done like written book reviews loads of times. Used to do them quite a lot on my blog, which I am now too lazy to keep up with. But I've watched a lot of book reviews on YouTube and thought that I could do a couple. So just to start off with, if you can hear that noise, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it, but I think our upstairs neighbour is watching Harry Potter for about maybe the 5th time this weekend. So if you can hear the music, that's where it's coming from. So the book that I'm going to be reviewing this week is The Other People by C J Tudor. This is the 3rd book, I think, that C J Tudor has written. The other ones were The Chalk Man was the first one. The second one is The Taking of Annie Thorne, which has a different name in the US. I think it's called The Hiding Place, but I can't remember. And then there's The Other People. So The Other People is essentially about a man who loses his wife and daughter in what appears to be a random attack. Like a burglary or something gone wrong, only he is convinced his daughter is still alive. So it's kind of accepted knowledge at the beginning of the book that everyone thinks his wife and daughter have died. He thinks his daughter is still alive because he sees her in the back of a car that's in front of him on the motorway when he's meant to be going home. I don't want to go into it too much more because it just kind of gives loads away, but The Other People is, you find out reasonably quickly, is a kind of group on the dark web that it's kind of like a vigilante group, I suppose. So they feel like maybe they've been part of a crime or their family's been affected by some kind of crime that's not been dealt with properly, and then you go to the other people and you basically appeal for them to resolve the crime for you. So it's some kind of like dark, kind of warped idea of justice. It's very interesting. I really liked the premise of the actual other people as the group. It's quite dark. I don't want to go into too much more because I'll just give away everything that happens. But you've got a few different sort of characters in here that you're not, at the beginning, obviously not too sure how they link up, and then the point is by the end of it, obviously they're all tied together. And you find out how they're all related to each other. So I really enjoyed this. I'm not sure it's my favourite C J Tudor book, and the main reason for that is because, like the other 2 novels she's written, there is a definite sort of paranormal, kind of otherworldly sort of feeling about it. The Chalk Man especially hints at some kind of paranormal stuff. And then The Taking of Annie Thorne does as well, and this one does too, but in like a very different way. But I don't feel like this one commits to it as much as I would like it to. I think there are hints at like a paranormal goings on, but it just doesn't feel like it's fully committed to them. It feels like maybe in the first draft or the 3rd or whatever draft they were, and there was more paranormal stuff, but maybe it was cut back. Because I think C J Tudor is really known for being a thriller author, even though all of her novels do have this vein of sort of supernatural stuff going on. I still liked the supernatural stuff in here. I just wish that either she'd gone for it more or she'd gotten rid of it. It's kind of stuck in this weird like halfway house. Like it's kind of there, but doesn't really need to be there. I don't know that it really impacts the story that well. One thing it does do is make you empathise with the character more, I suppose. So I like it for that reason. I just really wish she'd gone for it a bit more. Overall, I guess, I didn't really think of a rating system. I guess I would give this a 4 out of 5, and the reason I would give it a 4 out of 5 is mostly because of those paranormal elements. I wish that she had gone for them more and been more committed to it, but actually the novel itself I read really quickly, as I have all of her other novels so far. She's very quickly become one of my favourite novelists to read. I love her tone of voice. I love how she really like drills down to the main character and you really feel like you know who that main character is. This one did seem to have a lot more characters in it, which isn't a bad thing. It was just interesting, and actually I thought that The Chalk Man and The Taking of Annie Thorne, or The Hiding Place, if you're from the US. I thought they were a little bit formulaic. I thought the Chalk Man felt really original because it was the first one, and then the Taking of Annie Thorne I thought kind of followed a similar formula to the Chalk Man, and I was a little bit worried that this one would do that too, and it totally doesn't. It definitely goes in a different direction, which is really refreshing and really nice to see. I think my favourite C J Tudor book probably is The Taking of Annie Thorne, or The Hiding Place. So if you haven't checked that out, then definitely check it out. I also think that The Chalk Man is a good, or any of C J Tudor's stuff is a really good place to start if you're not really big into thrillers, because I don't think they're too cliche, and they're a little bit tropey, but I mean everything's a bit tropey, but they're a bit more original than a lot of thrillers that you read. They're not police procedural, and they're not, cookie cutter. They are quite original, so I would recommend reading them. So in summary, 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed it. I really like C J Tudor's writing style anyway. And also there's a little snippet in the back of this one that is a teaser for a novel she's releasing next year, and it sounds a little bit like Exorcist-y. So I really hope that she's just going to go for the supernatural and just go for it, because it's there in all of them, but it's just like a little peppering of it rather than a really strong theme of like paranormal goings on. So I really hope next year maybe she just goes for it. Sod it, C J Tudor. Just commit to it. I'm excited for that. That is it. Really enjoyed this. Definitely recommend it. Really like everything C J Tudor has done, and can't wait for her new release next year. So 4 out of 5. Definitely check it out. And I'd love to hear, if you've read it actually, let me know what you think of it. What is your favourite C J Tudor novel? I want to know. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification thingy so you can be notified every time I upload. And I might do some more reviews later down the line. It depends. Let me know if you like them. I quite like watching them, but then, it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know if people prefer reading reviews rather than watching them, so let me know. Thanks. See you next week.